Hello, good evening, everyone. Good evening, all the panelists and all the viewers for an interesting session with Mr. Gagan Rana on Fun Kids India platform. So, we would like to welcome you all on this an interesting session which talks about academic learning or experiential learning. Hello, good evening, everyone. Good evening, all the panelists and all the viewers for an interesting session with. So, I would like to start with the session with respect to the introduction from our owner, Mr. Gagan Rana, who is the founder of Fun Kids India. He would be briefing us with all of the details about Fun Kids India and why are we here today and what is coming up, what is Fun Kids India is what Fun Kids India is getting for all the students and the schools. It's an exciting opportunity for the students to show their talent to the world. So I would request Mr. Gagan Rana to share a brief introduction about Fun Kids India. So Mr. Rana, over to you, please.
Before I start, I would like to thank you all the amazing principals and leaders to join this session. And yep, thank you for a lovely introduction, Rabia. So here we go. I'm going to just share my screen and then. Okay. Hope you can see my screen now.
Yes.
Okay. So Fun Kids India. It's a safe, fun learning channel for kids and families. And Fun Kids India is an entertainment channel for the age group from newborn to 19 years of age. Fun Kids educate and entertain children from various backgrounds regarding fun and creative activities. It's a safe digital home for a child, and family can also join for fun, positive learning. And on the screen, you can see our existing school children, principal, and our shows over there, and our main website, funkids.in, with other social media platform. Here we go. This is me with Soumya Tandon and Ashif Sheikh, where on the right-hand side, both Ashif Sheikh and Soumya is introducing Fun Kids India to the world, and it's a very lovely interview. A link is there. I request to the people and all the leaders to watch this amazing words from both of them. They are kind of our brand ambassador. So this is me with Soumya Tandon, where we're gonna announce something which Rabia had just hinted on, and this is this. Fun Kids India present India's emerging talent, De Hunar Ko Pehchan, help emerging talent to get deserved platform at international level. And this is, you see the trophy in the middle. The name is First Fun Academy Awards in 2020. And it covers, as I mentioned, from newborn to 19 years of age of a child. So you can see on the right-hand side, Soumya Tandon with Arush Tandon. He is from London. He is an amazing author. And you can listen to my interview with Ujjwal Trivedi, only on Fun Kids India and India Emerging Talent. And here is on the right-hand side bottom is Pavni Arora from CT World School, Punjab. She is the voice of Punjab, and she is participating under the best singer category. On top left is Atrika Goyal from DPS Gwalior. She's a presidential award winner, amazing talent, a very courageous girl of 13 years of age, and you can see so much of medals on her. And on right hand side is Megan Tandon from London. Again, she's an author, 14 years of age, brilliant personality, who wrote an amazing book, and it's a page turner. Here, the poet on the left hand side. I won't go into detail, but she's Anushka. She's a very good poet, and Shanvi. So we have already interviewed so many children, and you can see they are all here. Spurs on the bottom right, amazing quizzer. And I think that's one thing which is coming very soon, which Rabia going to mention probably to you about the quiz challenger competition coming soon on Fun Kids India. And these are the age categories, as I mentioned, from newborn to 19 years of age. So since I think you are primary schools, so you have children for all these ages, from kids, from babies to toddlers to kids to teens, and we have different categories for teens as well here. as you can see, from 15 to 19 years of age and different age bracket. So they can participate under various under these age groups. So I think all the schools are covered. And these are the categories which we have at the moment: best actor, dancer, singer, stand-up comedian, orator, poet, speed cuber, best spelling champion, best quiz player, and the fantastic category, which covers everything under the sun. Whether you are a sketcher or you are a brave person like Adrika Goyal, we cover all of those just to give the platform to come at the international level. And these are our shows. We just don't do IET, India's Emerging Talent. These are shows we create, like, especially with a message for kids and families: 12 steps to prevent coronavirus spread, Jadoo Ki Jappi, and we recently done one video on pollution day as well, and we keep doing all of that. We also create songs, which I think we're gonna play at the end. The best teacher day song, which is amazing. I have listened to this almost 1,000 times now, and I still, I was not satisfied. It's such a beautiful song, which will play in the end. Okay, I won't go into detail. This is what we just talked about, and this is our old team photo, but still relevant. And this is the kind of contact us if somebody was in touch, want to be in touch with us from the UK and India point of view. Okay, over to you, Rabia.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rana, for such a lovely introduction about Fun Kids India. So, my dear sweet principals, I have already shared a lot of information about India's emerging talent. The code has also been shared, and there is a special discount for the leaders, for the principals who are specially associated with me. So that is 75% discount. And today is the last day, being 7th December. I would really request all of you to please register your students so that they can explore more and they can show their talents to the world actually. And we are coming up with a new, actually, kind of exciting quiz challenger. There would be a junior and a senior teens quiz challenger. I'll just mention the age group quickly. The seniors would be the first the teens junior is 13 to 15, and teen senior would be age 16 to 19. So a lot of things are coming up for the students, for your school students. So let's not miss it out, and they would be a part. They will get a entry in the India's emerging talent from that quiz challenger. So now I would like to start with our session with the introduction about our leaders. To start with, Ms. Bhavna Chibar. She's a vice principal with Kamal Model Senior Secondary School, Delhi, has more than 22 years of versatile experience as an educationist. In her long and illustrious career, she has contributed to the sphere of education in varied roles: teacher, trainer, educational researcher, and school administrator. She has been extensively engaged in curriculum designing, counseling and guidance, innovative educational breakthrough, technology in education, assessment and evaluation, designing and facilitating workshops for children as well as for teachers. As a prominent educationist, recently she has received awards like Global Teacher Award from AKS in 2019, Excellence in Blended and Value Education Programs from ELDRA on 18 December 2019, Dr. S. Radhakrishnan National Teacher Award on 4th September 2018, Rashtriya Shaurya Ratan Award on 24th November, and Global Excellence National Award on 28th November 2018. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for accepting our invite and being with us on this platform.
Thank you so much for this introduction. And I'm blessed that we all are here and we all are discussing on a very serious topic, which is the need of an hour.
Absolutely, ma'am. Thank you once again. Coming to Anita Paul, ma'am. She's a global goodwill ambassador, the head of school at Billabong High International School, Jabalpur. An experienced business owner with a demonstrated history of working in the higher education industry, skilled in intercultural communication, English as a second language, youth development, assessment creation, and secondary education. Strong entrepreneurship professional with a master's in English literature, focused in English literature from DAV College. Thank you, you, ma'am. Thank you so much. And I would like to welcome you again on this platform for being with us on this interesting evening.
Thank you, Rabia. It's a pleasure always to be with you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Coming to Richa Sharma, ma'am, principal at Balwant Rai Mehta Vidyalaya Bhavan, recipient of State Teachers Award 2017 by the Government of NCT Delhi, an experienced principal with a demonstrated history of working in the education management industry, skilled in English as a second language, coaching secondary education, classroom management, and educational consulting. Strong education professional with a MA focused in English literature from Delhi University. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for being with us on this platform today.
Thank you, Rabia, for inviting me on this platform, and I hope it's going to be a great experience for me as well.
Thank you, ma'am. Always. Thank you so much. And coming to our fourth leader, Sunitha Srivastava, the founder principal. She's an accomplished educator for more than 2 decades in CBSE ICSE schools and has also proved her mettle as an able administrator, head of the school in ICSE schools. She's a visionary who takes the school in the right direction to prepare children for the 21st century life skills. She is currently working in the capacity of founder principal for an ICSE school, Bangalore. Armed with MA in English, a B.Ed, a diploma in education management and administration from TESOL. At present, she is pursuing CIDTL and has undergone a lot of training on various topics in the interest of the students. Comes with an experience of more than 2 decades in education sector, and she believes that the children learn better when there is a strong bondage and personalized coaching. She has tried and tested multiple intelligence strategy, active and collaborative learning, and seen immense improvement in students' engagement in the classroom. She has won prizes for innovative teaching presentation, written review for international grammar publications, conducted several trainings for teachers, conceptualized mega events, and written articles for educational magazines, and also a writer on Quora. She has a strong belief that if the students are given exposure in the right direction, their ability to think in a novel way would increase. She also believes in experiential learning and sensitizing the students with the issues which are not generally discussed. In her leadership position, she has introduced various projects for different age groups and has understood the benefits which they would be reaping in the coming days. She believes that there's a long way to go with the changing trend of education in India and abroad. She sees technology in the forefront. She was in different leadership positions as an HOD, coordinator, and principal. Her experiences range from state, CBSE, ICSE, and international teaching methodology. She believed in democratic leadership and empowering the next line of leaders. She also believes in inclusive administration and includes all the stakeholders of the institution whenever it is feasible. In her words, challenges are the testing tools. We need to embrace it if we want to know our own hidden area of excellence. Wonderful. And thank you once again for being with us. Wonderful.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much, Rabia. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. And now, without wasting a second, we'll start up with our questions. So be ready. I hope all of you have prepared well. So the first question goes to Bhavna ma'am. All right, Bhavna ma'am. The first question is, what are the benefits to students through experiential knowledge?
Okay. I believe the topic here today, academic learning, stands for acquiring knowledge, whereas experiential learning stands for better acquisition of knowledge. If it is not enough to have knowledge. That's my opinion as an educator. It is not enough to have to have knowledge. You have to understand how, when, and why to use it, and this come only with the experiential learning. If we utilize experiential learning and provide a safe environment for the workforce to practice and rehearse for work, just as a sports team, as a band, as a music troupe, it will give you, I believe students will perform in a better manner. As we know, knowledge doesn't transform, and experience will come by participation, by observation, by examining, by testing, by collecting data, by analyzing, by reasoning, by interactions. So this way, once we do the we have the experiential learning sessions in our classes, we all teaching that to our students, and it is very very essential for the student to learn these life skills, because these are the skills which will be required actually in their life. And I believe that we are using experiential learning to enhance or to empower the students with academic learning. It is just a tool. It is just a tool, and it go hand in hand only. It's a, and I just tell you one thing which I believe is that it is a part of our heritage. Why we just move on to the history? We had the Gurukul Paddhati. Fine. So what was that? What was that? That was experiential learning. So we were have been, our history has already proven this fact that experiential learning is always a better way to empower our students with the concept, and this will enable them to learn the life skill which is really required for their you can say upliftment, or for their job, or for their living, everything. Still, I would like to say that there are few advantages which I could name few, that is benefits we can say about its ability to immediately apply knowledge. Once we have, this is the first foremost benefit to the students through experiential knowledge is that they got the ability to immediately apply the knowledge. For example, if I gave a task to my student that you have to make a tower with this block, so now they're applying that knowledge immediately. So since they're experiencing that which block will come after it, and so on. Secondly is development of reflective practice. That is there. It's a second benefit. Third, I believe that promotion of teamwork, collaboration. This is required till your last breath. Teamwork, collaboration is the key to success. Either you are in a family, or you are in an office, or you are running your business. So I believe these are the three prominent benefits which experiential knowledge gives our student, or you can say learning gives our student.
Very well said.
Yeah.
Very well said. Life skills, collaboration, and real life experiences also. I mean, they are the, actually the NAP talks about all these things, and I'm
Absolutely.
sure we are going to implement this. Earlier,
Mm.
it wasn't there for sure, but
No,
yes,
no, it
now
was there, Rabia. It was there. It was there. It was the part of. But now NEP has it's come up with a structured way
yes,
wherein we all have to implement it in a large scale.
right. It was not
Otherwise,
mandatory earlier. That
yeah,
was that's what
yeah.
I meant to say.
But CBSE is also working on it.
Yes,
CBSE has also started thinking on that term,
agree.
art integrated classes, and
Yes.
performing art, visual art integrated classes. Everybody is focusing on that nowadays.
Absolutely. Ma'am, lot many sessions are happening with respect to when it comes to CBSE. They are doing a lot of webinars and training sessions actually. So
Right
with
now,
respect to,
PBL, project based learning, is on the, I believe all the fellow principals will agree on this. This is a kind of a survivor mode for us, because just to engage students on this online platform, project based learning is a tool to assess them. It's a tool to keep them learn that, to help them to learn that concept. So this is the kind of a project which we all are following right now.
absolutely. Very well said, ma'am. Thank you so much for such a beautiful information and beautiful the kind of explanation you have shared. So the second question I have for Anita ma'am. So Anita ma'am, the question is allotting more periods for empirical activities than study periods benevolent to students?
So, Rabia, can you hear me first?
Yes, yes, we can.
Fine. Okay. So, I come from an international curriculum background. So, for me, this question is actually very irrelevant because we actually embed our extracurricular, co-curricular, co-scholastic, what the national and the CPSE curriculum, what the ISC curriculum talks about. For us, it's part of the curriculum. It's part of the growth, the holistic growth that we keep talking about. For us, everything is experiential. We have to experience, we have to take the real life skills into account and then move forward. Saying that, full respect to the national curriculum and CBSE curriculum, because I also did come from a background where I did ISC for some time, but it was called the Senior Cambridge that time, if some of you know. It got over in 70s, 79, and then we moved forward into 80s, and then ISC came in. So we did follow the Cambridge curriculum. So I was brought up with those kind of skills. So for me, skills come hand in hand with academic part of learning about the scientific knowledge or the application of scientific knowledge, which we keep talking about. And for our schools, it was never. I have grown up with full respect to other subjects, full respect to liberal arts, sports, very important, because if you are not physically fit, you're not you don't have the kind of concentration in your classrooms. Kinesthetic skills are very important. If you don't touch and feel, and you don't get that kind of a bonding with something, you will not remember it for long. So we've always said that we do talk about cognitive learning, kinesthetic learning, and out of the box learning, or we always talk about differential learning because every child has a different way of learning. But saying that, international curriculum gives you that base and it allows you to explore that. And when you connect your core scholastic or extracurricular activities with your academic, you do perform as a better person. I won't say that you are a 99% for a particular subject, but you definitely have that ability to comprehend what has been taught to you, to analyze it properly, critically think about it, and apply it in your real life. Today, if somebody talks about say Pythagoras's theorem, or somebody talks about a linear equation, etc., and everything, you know the applicability of it, because when you're going into economics, or whether you want to get into something which is to do with a mathematical calculation, to understand the growth of something, whether it is the economy, whether it is your own savings, whether it's your own investments, whether it's what you choose in life, if you don't have that practical, the practical aspect of it, the real life skills of it, you will not be able to move forward. So it's very important for us as educators to give that platform to the child. When he's running, there is a motion. So when you're teaching motion, you can actually connect with that. When you're teaching them of something about gravitational pull, when they're doing high jump, you can connect with that. When you're doing table tennis, you tell them, there are arcs formed. So you tell them, a certain arc will form, and then only you can have that kind of a throwback again. Same way you can take up a basketball. When you do a 2-pointer or a 3-pointer, there is a difference, there is a distance to maintain, there is a height that has to go in. So if you connect them with maths, in art also, if when you see art, if you just go haywire, then it's called an abstract art. But if you have a beautiful art, you then have symmetry to the lines or to the curves that you're giving. So what I'm trying to say is that integrated learning has to come in. NEP is thinking about it, and it's thinking because they've seen there is a vast gap between international curriculum and the international curriculum. Because children, when they go to colleges, they come at the same platform, but a niche higher is the ability of a child coming from say IB or IGCSE, but not from CBSE or ISC, because they struggle. They're not independent. They are dependent. They are cocooned because we as teachers spoon feed them. So what you're trying to say is right. You do need to give that, but there has to be a balance between the two. It goes hand in hand. I always say, to run a wheel, the spokes of the wheel have to be aligned properly. If they're not aligned properly, you will not have learning and teaching processes going simultaneously. So it's required. So I'll leave you on that. All right. So I'll leave you for the
Perfect,
next
ma'am.
question. Yeah.
Very well explained. I completely agree to you because I myself has worked with the IB curriculum and CBSE curriculum, and I can see the difference between the students of CBSE and IB. So very well
Right.
said, actually. And
Yeah.
yes, it has to be balanced kind of activities for the students to get them nurtured and get them. And
And
the
it can
third,
happen, Radha.
Just
What I'm trying to say is it can happen. When
yes,
planners plan, especially the CBSE planners or the NCRT planners or the NEP planners, I don't know why they are very orthodox in their way of thinking. They're not open-minded about the acceptance of sports. They feel, खेलेगा कूदेगा तो बनेगा खराब. It's like that.
I
पढ़ेगा लिखेगा
completely
तो बनेगा
agree.
नवाब.
Yes, yes.
Have to break this this kind of a norm and a cliched statement, because it's not true. Today it does not stand any relevance. So they have to break this
Rightly
myth.
said, ma'am.
Yeah.
one
Very
more
rightly
point,
said.
I would like to add, as Anita ma'am has told beautifully and justified the answer. One more most important thing which I feel like that experiential learning does complete justice to, that is differentiated learning. While we apply, or whatever the board we are into, if we apply this, we cater, and a teacher has the privilege to help the students with the differentiated instructions, and perform, or just help them to perform as per their level of understanding. Am I right,
Right,
Anita ma'am?
ma'am. Yes.
Yes, completely. I completely agree with you. And I've always wondered, and I've always actually been in a state of kind of unrest to understand that when in the primary earlier years, children are given that liberty of using blocks and using crayons and using the plaster of Paris and clay, everything. And suddenly we take it away from them when they come into the slightly the middle school classes, because academic becomes very important. Whatever is in the textbook becomes very important. Have we forgotten, as earlier teachers, more work goes into plan on those activities where the child loves what he's doing. He loves, and suddenly it's taken away from them. And suddenly their performances take a dip. And then all the educators are putting their thinking hats on and trying to figure out what happened. Actually, we've taken away the fun out of the education that we're giving them suddenly, because of the pressure that has been brought in for so many years. That has to go away. I am one of those educators who believe that this is not going to help our children grow into good citizens and independent citizens and thinkers, because pandemic has shown us that sitting at home, children who of a generation ahead or a generation behind will always struggle. This generation has seen it all. It will take it on heads on. They are more smarter than what we are. They know how to manage to even make a fool out of the most educated of the educated, because they know how to get through that. They've got all the real life hacks in place.
You said it
You know,
all, Anita ma'am. Said it all. Everything. I mean, so nicely, and everything. Nothing. You have covered everything actually. Wonderfully said, ma'am. So we go to move to third question, and the third question goes to Richa, ma'am. Ma'am, like Fun Day, fun activities in many MNCs or colleges, is it beneficial to reveal the talent of each child by conducting a fun program by the students itself in their classroom once in a week or month?
Rabia, what I believe, and I generally tell my students, and here I quote, Shakespeare as well. World is a stage. And it's very important as educators, for us to provide different platforms to our children to perform. And you see, there are little talents, hidden talents. Children come up in our school, and it's up to us that how we provide them with opportunities to for them to perform. So I would not like to, put a bracket of a weekly performance or a monthly or an annually, because you see, it depends on the schools have annual days, we have sports days, we have our English literary weeks, language weeks, we have history clubs. There are different platforms in our school that we provide our children to, have fun-filled activities, definitely integrated with our subject. CBSE, rightly has put up the art integrated now activities. We have project based learning. So what I believe is that the structured program or the planners that we have in our school curriculum is very important. And as teachers, bringing fun into learning, definitely a yes. But what I feel is that it's very important to, engage parents as well into this kind of learning, because many a times I believe that the activity based learning is not taken in a right stride, thinking that, it's not completely academic. There is no written work being done in the notebooks. It's more of my child is involved in the group, he's involved into planning, he's always talking, he's busy rehearsing at home. So what I feel is that there's a challenge, and the challenge is definitely from the parental side, that you bring them as a partner to your education learning that's happening in the school. And the week wise, like you said, the fun filled activities, things happening, many a times I've seen that when you engage parents also in that kind of learning, it's something which comes out very beautifully. Like we had a lot of programs where we involved parents into guiding certain skills, bringing talent in school as well, and similarly sharing that experience with other parents also. Definitely such kind of fun filled activities enhance their creativity. I'm sure the performing art, visual art, especially doing theater, when you're doing theater in school with kids, they really enjoy like anything. And definitely it's an integrated aspect. You have music, you have theater, you have creativity, a kind of teamwork is seen. And what I believe is, that's a real education taking place. There's certain life skill lessons that children learn when they're performing in these kind of activities, whether they are a one day or a weekly activity or fortnightly or the school annual days. And many a times I've seen that you are able to actually form your own core team committee of students who take up the front stage, and generally the educators are on the backstage, and they really do such a wonderful job. So what I feel is that it's a kind of collaborative effort of teachers, students and parents as well, when you're engaging them in this kind of fun filled activities. And children are always enthusiastic about it, I must say that. Whether it's a sports day, I've seen children having a tug of war with teachers and the parents as well. You could see the enthusiasm and the kind of teamwork that comes up, and the kind of message that goes on, keeping health in mind as well, encourage creativity. And you see a change, a complete generation changes, because they've seen their child's talent being promoted in the school, the kind of confidence that these kind of activities give them, whether in a classroom or on the stage or outside the stage. So many a times children, they become so confident that you give them any platform beyond the four walls of the school, they're able to perform. So I feel you can't have a bracket of conducting such activities for one day, weekly or monthly. I think just groom them, and I think anytime they're ready for showing their talent, I would say that.
Beautiful explanation, ma'am. And rightly said, actually. It
I
should not
believe
be,
Richa ma'am, Rabia, just
Yeah, sure, ma'am. Please continue.
I believe Richa ma'am would like to end with this statement that ideal teacher has to make each and every moment of the school as the fun as the fun moment for the students.
Absolutely right.
So
Right.
this is what we have to follow, and this is what we believe as an educationist, that when the child is in the campus, the child should enjoy each and every moment of in that campus, so that they cry in the
Amen.
morning that mama, I have to go to school. You do one, I will go to school.
Right, very rightly said, ma'am. That was so cute, even. And we move to fourth question, and the fourth question is for Sunita ma'am. So, Sunita ma'am, the question is: if academic knowledge is more important than the experiential one, then incorporating fun activities into learning aids student in their growth. How important is that?
Um, there is a broad smile on my face. The reason is the previous educators have already
Yes,
thoroughly
actually,
explained the
thoroughly
whole
explained.
thing. And this is
Yes.
the best part of being the last speaker. You have everything.
you just you
Uh,
have to create a summary of everything now.
yes, yes, yes. So I'm very thankful to Miss Rabia for inviting me. The reason is this webinars give us a lot of exposure. The reason is the a lot of sharing, knowledge sharing is there, and that is how this pandemic. That is how I see this pandemic as a positive one. Coming back to your question, yes, definitely, your question is very valid. Um, if you ask whether experiential learning is more important or academic is more important, whether it is going to accelerate the growth of learning, yes, of course it is going to. It is like asking a child whether he likes father or mother. So both are very, very crucial, and it has its own importance. Nobody can take, each one has its own space. Now, coming back to the next point, life itself celebration. We keep on telling life is celebration. And where it starts from home. Then it should move on to school. We need to teach the children each day is celebration. And the children has to live that moment, and we have to ensure that the school is a place of celebration, not restricted to a kind of certain days and activities. Rather, each moment the child should feel like coming back to school again and again. That is the magic the educators are already creating. It's not that some certain group of people are doing. Most of the 98% of the educators are doing. When coming back to NEP also, I would like to say that this NEP has mentioned many pointers here. Many of the schools are already following it. Now, what is the need of bringing this documentation? The need of bringing this documentation is to bring that uniformity wherever that 21st century skills has not been implemented, or those things have not been rigorously observed. That has to be aligned. For that reason, this NEP document, to make it more formal, this has come. And including fun activities in academics, definitely it is required. For example, in kindergarten, what we do is, instead of teaching in the classroom, this is square, this is circle, what we do is we just first take them outside the classroom. We The teacher draws the circle, and the children move on that circle. So this is experiential learning. And again, they come back to classroom, and they understand the concept better in that way, rather than be telling, showing the object and teaching them. They have to see that they are really living that experience. So that is experiential learning. And if I have to elaborate experiential learning, uh, definitely it aid to growth along with fun. It accelerates learning, and there is personalized attention when it comes to experiential learning, because the teacher is constantly observing and making amendments then and there itself. And there is also the formative assessment becomes very pertinent, and it is observed then and there itself, and formative assessment goes on regularly. And apart from that, there is opportunity for bonding, teamwork, all these things we talk about. And collaboration happens in experiential learning. For example, if I have to give you, we celebrated Vanamahotsava. And during that time, the children did this seed bombing, and they started with vegetable patch in the school garden itself. And when they were mixing mud and seed, it was such a fun activity, and they thoroughly enjoyed it. That is what I believe in. Instead of teaching that we have to grow trees, we have to plant more trees, we should not cut trees, those small brains won't understand that. It is very abstract. So instead of giving that abstract statements, we have to tell them, if you plant this seed, if you throw this bomb into the open area, it will grow, and that will give you shelter, and that will give you more oxygen. So in that way, I feel that it is fun filled activity also, and we have taught some concept also. That is how I feel, and we experience in the classroom.
Awesome, ma'am. Very, very rightly. I mean, very beautiful real life experience you have shared. Thank you so much for such a wonderful and detailed information. And before we move to another question, we have hardly two questions left. I would request Mr. Rana to share something about the India's Emerging Talent Show. Mr. Rana, over to you. Please brief something about to our leaders today about the show.
Thank you, Rabia. So, as rightly said by all the principals almost, that how important it's to include fun within the learning settings. A, it helps children, teachers, parents grows a child. B, uh, it accelerates the learning skills quickly. And C, it gives the pleasure of achievement to the school, to the parents, and the family, and everybody who's involved. So as this pandemic, it's a blessing in a way, because we're sitting here. I'm in London. You know, all of you are in India and other places. So this pandemic has connected all of us, and we thought what we can do something different, where we can actually give opportunity to all the children to showcase their talent at the international platform, because they are stuck at home. And when we interview these children, they always say, okay, ye nahi ho raha hai, wo nahi ho raha hai, I'm feeling bored ho raha hai, wo sab chal raha hai. So that's why we come up with this in India's Emerging Talent, De Hunar Ko Pehchan. And it's an award show celebrating the talents: singing, dancing, acting, Rubik Cube, best quizzer, a poet, orator, you name it. Recently, one of the person, he said, oh, I can do sketches. I said, yes, participate. You can do sketches, not a problem. Oh, how I'll do it? I said, you just do the sketches, load your video on the Funkies India website and do it. So we are covering everything. So everything is covered. Like, you know, whatever you have, platform is there. Now you cannot say, oh, I didn't get the platform. I have this skill. I didn't get the platform. Earlier it was just focused on singing, dancing, and all the acting, but now we have just covered everything. You bravery, as I mentioned, Adrika Goel is covered. So this India's Emerging Talent is a platform for anybody to showcase the talent at international level. And the categories are, as I mentioned, and at the moment it's a group stage. And you know, and the name we are calling the Fun Academy Awards. So in 2020 it's called the first Fun Academy Awards, and 2021 second, third, fourth, fifth. So it's carry on, you know, like in Oscars or in film fair. So we have this award for everything. So we're covering all the kids, all the family who are NRIs or Indians, like what has to be Indian origin, they are all covered. And we're meeting amazing children in the process. And you never know, you know, what child has got. Even they haven't got any talent, for example, but they participate. You don't know. Platform can change things. Platform can ignite things. It can make things wonderful. So that's why you know, Funkers India is such a beautiful concept. You know, all the children we are in touch with, like Pavni sees singers, so they are all different, you know, talent, and we have the good opportunity to use this time and turn the wave around in the benefit side, rather than just keep moaning and oh ye nahi ho raha, wo ho raha. So that's fine. appreciate what we have and find a solution. And I think Fun Kids India has given us the solution to everyone, anyone, to be the part of this amazing India's Emerging Talent show, and just you know uh, support your children as a student, or sorry, as a teacher. If you are a parent, support your child as a parent, and just help them, because we all write our history, or the careers of our children by our hands. As a parent or as a teacher, it's a huge responsibility in our hand. So it's an honor for us to see all these children come and show our talent and have fun and learning at the same time. And we always produce positive shows. We always make sure that they always have a learning show within us. If you go out to our website, as I mentioned as well in the presentation, we always produce those shows, and all the kids are just so happy. They play our videos in their schools, because there's nothing adult type or unseen or unwanted in our channel. It's all clean. Everything is for the family and teachers and students only.
And the best part is the age group is starting from 0, ending till 19. So the Fun Kids India's emerging talent is covering all the age groups of our students till their teenage ends actually. So
today, I think one person contacted. I'm 21 years of age. Can I participate? I said, no, you cannot, because you're not in the age category. However, if you want to come for interview, why not? So, it's growing day by day. So it's an amazing platform, and it's a showcase for any school as well. If your child win this international award, it will say a lot about a school, as a family, as a student. It's a tell a story which is painted for the child in his performance.
thank you so much, Mr. Rana, for sharing the beautiful information about India's emerging talent, Day Hunar Ko Pehchan. So coming back to the session, and the next question goes to, the next question goes to Richa ma'am. I would like to ask this question to Richa ma'am. If multitasking is valuable, then what gives it? Academic or pragmatic?
See, again, I would say academic and pragmatic goes hand in hand. I would not like to, put an extreme end to being pragmatic in the approach, or completely academic. Multitasking definitely is very, very, important. It's a kind of skill, I would say that. Keeping in mind that you need to focus on some important aspects when you talk about multitasking, because it itself needs planning. One, I would say that. Second, it's very important to concentrate on the various tasks that you are working upon. So, academically, as well as the pragmatic approach that you are taking towards learning. Uh, Also, I feel that it also talks about if you can work in collaboration with others in the teamwork, and keeping in mind that your work is related to your all works are moving simultaneously, and they are all interrelated. I think that would help you out in your multitasking. uh, Certain projects that when you do with your students in school especially, you encourage them to become multitaskers as well. uh, let's take a very simple example of organizing any event in your particular department. Like, yesterday we had Model United Nation. That was a closing ceremony, and I could see one executive member of the board has taken over many roles. This year we were online, so we had one particular student who was a important part of the team, working as a presenter, working as a photographer, as well as the editor, and documenting the whole program. So and you see, it's all integrated because it's the academic subject that they're working on, the students of political science, humanities, and in a way a pragmatic approach of organizing an event which was happening online for them. So you see, things go hand in hand. We can't have something extremely only academic happening, or only a pragmatic approach to and definitely a teacher's role, I would say that. because they themselves have become multitaskers nowadays. So
Right.
I think the same skill has been, being imparted to the next generation. And what I feel is that something which is a good news for us is that the young generation, which is in our classroom, they are extremely, good at adaptability, because the moment you just guide them and give certain stimulators, they easily adapt to that situation. And it's very easy for them to understand and bring that particular aspect into practical approach as well. So this is something which I feel that my take is on it, that there has to be a balance between academic and the pragmatic approach. And multitasking, definitely I go for it.
Wonderful, ma'am. Very rightly said, and a very good, beautiful example given about the MUN. Yes, of course. So thank you so much. And now we are coming out with the last question almost. The question is open for all my panelists, and because it, and also to Mr. Rana, because he's going to show something different today. And then we will end up the session with a beautiful song. It's just so beautiful song and motivational song, ma'am. So the question is, if academic learning is good, then the ambidextrous way of teaching, does this helps in multitasking? So it's over to all of you basically. So let's start with Sunita ma'am. Let's hear her views on this, and then I'll go to Anita ma'am. Ma'am, unmute yourself.
Just a minute. Yeah. Yes, I did a little bit of research regarding this, and there is a school in UP which is doing wonderful job. But when we look back in 19th and 20th century, this was started, but they found that it was not that useful. For example, English protagonist John Jackson, he started ambidextral culture society. He called it as two-brain deadness. But afterwards, in 20th century, in the mid of 20th century, they found that it's not working. It is not that result oriented. But when I see this UP school, the kind of work they are doing, all the students are trained in a similar manner, and everybody is doing a wonderful job. And this was viral sometimes back also. This video was viral, and yeah, it is astonishing. If something like that can happen, definitely it should be inculcated, and we all need to know the tricks, nuts and bolts of that. And if it is good for the children, definitely we have to inculcate it. I find it very useful after seeing the video. Yeah.
Perfect, ma'am. Thank you so much. Yes, over to Anita ma'am. What are your views about it, ma'am?
Well, I completely agree with what she just said. And in fact, in the question that you had sent us, also you had quoted Madhya Pradesh, and I am in Madhya Pradesh now, so I know what you do. So, and I travel extensively to Cambridge, and I visit a lot of schools there, and I visit a lot of schools which are in Birmingham, and I see that they adapt to all this, and for them, it's a normal way of approach towards learning, and multitasking. See, it's a very simple example. You multitask you start at home only. When you're tying your laces, you have to use both your hands. you know so our brains work accordingly. You have to have the skill of using both your hands, and also the left and the right thinking has to be aligned. So I always feel it depends on person to person how you perceive it. We give them terminologies which sound very fancy, and then we use it in our when we are having these conferences, and we have a lot of discussions. But I definitely feel it's all there. It's in our DNA. We know what we are doing. uh, uh, God wouldn't have given us two hands, two eyes, uh, 2 years. He gave us one nose, but he did give us two nostrils. So there must have been a plan, whether it is genetic or whether it is God given or divine or whatever. I always believe there is a purpose for everything. Otherwise people who do not have some parts of the body, we call them different, they are different abled people, but they also have the use of their left and right again. And we've seen many examples even in our own country, people who can use their legs, their feet as hands, uh, people who use their mouth. They could have a brush in their mouth and they could work and all that. Women are supposed to be greatest examples of multitasking. I always say that they are the base of the family. They are the future educators of the family. We teachers come later on, but as women we come as first educators, because I always believe one woman, educated women in a house, can educate a lot of people in that house. And I always believe that learning happens at home, and multitasking is a skill that we've been blessed by God with that. you know yes, there are certain things that you have to learn, like driving a car, but then if you have the skills and you have a connection with your motor skills running with your kinesthetic skills, you can connect it and then you can adapt that, because as a kid also you get those walkers to walk in, or a cycle, a tricycle, etc. So you start growing up. So I think so, what we started off with also, and what Gagan, is that Gagan, am I getting the name
Yes,
correct?
yes, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's
Mr.
correct.
Gagan Rana,
All right.
absolutely.
See, because when he says it's a fun learning, and he has people who at 21 also want to do something, because somewhere in our upbringings, in our education systems, unfortunately our talents are sometimes suppressed, and it needs a voice somewhere. And when a platform like this comes, I think so people who really feel that they haven't had that opportunity want to come out of it, and then want to showcase that, so that that feeling of oneness amongst themselves only is whole. So I think so schools do believe in that, teachers also believe in that, but we are always constrained with our syllabus and our curriculums, unfortunately. NEP, I disagree with most of it completely, because what they've done is they did not structure it properly. Even when they talked about the fun elements, and they talked about the project based learning or the activity based learning, they have somehow messed it up by saying, okay, for 10 days you give a day time somewhere in the year, and then you document it and you do this, and there is a grading to be done of it. I don't agree with that. And why I don't agree with that is because proper discussion hasn't happened on that, and it has just been forced to be taken over. you know so one has to rethink it. And as educators, and I always believe that private schools are left out of it, because they feel that private schools are somewhat not aligned with the general masses, but unfortunately it is. For them, for the thinkers, they have to think, because private schools are where you take the risk of doing something out of the box. You take a risk every day to experiment with some new way, methodology of taking it forward. Even during the pandemic, it's the private schools who have done that. you know because private schools could, I will not say 100%, but to 60 to 80% they could, because children come from backgrounds who could afford phones, or who could afford tabs, or who could afford a laptop even, or a desktop. Poor children couldn't. But a base is being set for the poor kids only. The realization that the poor kids need technological advancement in their areas, they need that gadgets in their hands. So governments are rethinking now, but the rethinking only happened once they saw that the private schools could do it. Now activities are a major part when you're doing online teaching. You have to have that fun element, because concentration of 20 minutes to keep a child engrossed in a class is very important, because a child is very smart. He will have a window open of yours, and he'll have multiple windows other operational at the side.
Actually, they
So
are doing multitasking,
yes, so that is
putting their
multitasking.
attendance
And
and playing the games.
so, at times I tell my teachers, when they complain back and they say, ma'am, please, they're playing around, they're fooling around. I said, see, that's a signal that something new has to come in.
Hmm.
Don't take it otherwise, because if we just keep on getting angry at the child and keep on saying, this is not right, this is not right, it will get conditioned into them that this is the right, because every wrong makes it a right for them. So one has to be very careful. So that's why I say, if you have a song, suddenly you break into a song and bring the child back with some words which were connected to what you were teaching. That's a way of teaching. You can have an activity. Today, I remember I was in one of the class observing. It was a very stupid thing that was happening. They were doing skin and touch and feel. And suddenly the teacher was only teaching what was required. And suddenly, the teacher felt lost because the child was asking 101 other questions. Ma'am, why does my skin start peeling in winters? you know why does a razor cut my hand but my sharpener does not cut my hand? And then I said, okay, fine. I said, all of you take 1 minute, go run to the kitchen and see what all sharp things are there and what are rough things are there, list it and come back. I think so that little activity gave a breather to the teacher also, so that's fun. So एक तो वो दौड़े, तो वो एनर्जी आई, एक उनको एक टास्क दे दिया हमने, तो उससे उनकी क्यूरियोसिटी जगी। और उनको ये डिफरेंशिएट करना था कि शार्पनेस और रफनेस में क्या फर्क है। सो you have to read, and this is nowhere there, it's not mentioned in any chapter or any curriculum that this is the way you have to teach. So what I'm saying is, it's a very simple stupid example, but it had to be done so that the child is brought back to the class. And hats off to all the teachers around the world who are doing all this thing. The other day I saw a video where a teacher was doing face, with faces. So she had a donkey's face and a zebra's face and everything, and she was demonstrating it. So teachers have come down to becoming, as I earlier also in one of my talks with Rabia with you, I said they are magicians. But today they have also become not only magicians, actors.
Innovators, ma'am.
Innovators.
Innovators, yes. But
Innovators.
actors, they're bringing drama to the class. So what Gagan was saying is very important to align all these things and give that voice to that child to perform, to excel, to showcase his talent. We would never know. We would only know people who we audition and bring them on the stage for an annual day, that these are the children who will do. And the next year we also get conditioned, oh, these children did it last year, so let's first get them the roles and then we'll do some more auditions. Why not? Why not everybody else? Maybe a backbencher today who's become a front bencher because they're all together on the camera, he would outshine maybe the one who's on the stage. You never know. तो छुपा रुस्तम एक वर्ड है, उसका मीनिंग आज की तारीख में बहुत ज्यादा मायने रखता है, because that means that we do have talent which yet we are not able to explore and extract out of that child because of our conditioning also at times. So I'll leave it at that, Ravi.
I loved it. I just loved it. I think everybody loved it, ma'am. The way you have explained, very insightful, and I think you have covered everything. Actually, covered everything. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And as we have already crossed 7:30, in fact, 2 minutes are we're at 7:32. So I would request Mr. Gagan Rana to first show us that video of India's first ambidextrous school, which is in Madhya Pradesh, and it is also in the talent categories in India's Emerging Talent Awards 2020. So please, sir, please share that video. I think you're going to show some video regarding the same, if I'm not wrong.
No, it's slightly different. It's the song I want to play.
Right, sure.
Yeah, because amazing song dedicated to amazing teachers like you, principals like you, and just I'm pretty sure you'll love it because I've heard 1,000 times and I haven't got bored of it. I'm pretty sure you will love it. So here we go. I'm going to start my screen, and we
and
go
hear
with
that beautiful and inspirational song for the teachers, especially.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Anna.
Send all to the teachers.
Yes, absolutely, it is. Okay, here we go. I'm just sharing my screen now.
Thank you, Sunita ma'am, for sharing this information.
Okay, so hopefully you can see the screen. So this is the website funkids.in. So I don't scroll too much. So it's the song is in the first one here, which is a teacher's song. So we'll start with that. Okay, sorry. So let me restart. हम आज जो भी बन पाए हैं आपकी मेहरबानी है, जो सपने सच कर दिखाए हैं आपकी मेहरबानी है, जीना सिखाया आपने होमवर्क के बहाने, ईश्वर का रूप हो सर्दी की धूप हो, तुमसे ही आगे बढ़ता ये जहां, ज्ञान के सागर हो सच के साथी हो, teachers we can't thank you enough, teachers तुमसे ही है जहां, teachers we can't thank you enough, teachers तुम ही हो मेरे भगवान। तुम्हारा शुक्रिया तुम मेरे भगवान, लिखना पढ़ना आगे बढ़ना सीखा तुमसे, तुम्हारा एहसान है मुझ पे सदा, जीना सिखाया मैंने होमवर्क के बहाने, ईश्वर का रूप हो सर्दी की धूप हो, teachers we can't thank you enough, teachers तुमसे ही है जहां, teachers we can't thank you enough, teachers तुम ही हो मेरे भगवान।
Very nice indeed.
Yeah, it was. Thank you. I don't know. Do you like it?
Yes.
Yes, very
Nice,
meaningful.
sir.
Meaningful, thoughtful, well orated by the singers and well drafted, well written, everything.
Thank you very much indeed. Yes, it's amazing. It's a wonderfully a tribute to amazing principals and teachers like you.
I believe this will be a booster dose for these teachers, because every time they are feeling like that we are troubling them a lot. So this will send this to them that please listen this. We do care for you also. And these are the soldiers. These are the actual corona warriors. Those who are helping us to sail this through and to keep this learning on.
Yeah, absolutely. And I won't charge any copyright issue. You know, you can play. It's free. You can play anywhere, anytime. You know, that's why I allow. You know, it's for just for you. It's just you know, for amazing teachers as you mentioned. So anyone can play anywhere. Go to website, please play. No problem. And this is not only song. You know, I think if you go to our website, our channel, we produce amazing fun learnings ones. Like, you know, pollution day we have produced one. Like there's always human rights coming up next, where we're talking about human rights, like, you know, what the rights are. So we have this series of Move to Master G series. Funny name, but it's a meaningful name, where he's a master and he's got 3 kids in a one, and they talk about all the issues like human rights or a child girl issue, all that, with fun always there, So just please go to the website, please play all those one there. You know, if you like it, or any give feedback if anything don't like, pretty happy to change if anything is different. But yeah, absolutely, I think it's just for kids, families, positive fun and learning.
Thank you so much for such a motivation from Mr. Rana. And yes, Anita ma'am, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say thank you, Gagan, for being so generous for allowing us to use it.
Mhm.
Definitely.
What I was
And
about.
definitely, we would like to go and check out your website. So we will do that.
Thank you ever.
And thank you
And
so much for this kind of initiative, because there are few people like you, those who feel like, yes, teachers are doing wonderful job.
yeah, they are, I think. And I'm from Delhi. I still remember my school days. They were amazing. And, on Teachers' Day, we always have fun, like, when uh, become a teacher ourselves and have the time and realize that, how much hard work they have put in. Because they are not building a child, they're building a country. So it's very important for any teacher, whether it's principal or a teacher or a parent, to be rewarded and acknowledged and appreciated, that what they're doing is more than money or more than anything, because they are building the country. They are the pillars of this whole country and the world in at large, I would say.
So we would like to end this session now. We have already crossed 10 minutes. So thank you so much once again for all my sweet panelist leaders and my viewers for being with us today on this session with about the academic learning versus experiential learning, where our leaders have explained and shared such a thoughtful information and insightful information. I'm sure many of us are going to benefit out of it, especially parents and students. So, thank you once again. Have a good evening and stay tuned with us with our next session on Thursday. We'll share the information soon. Thank you. Have a great evening ahead. Bye bye.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Rabia.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Gagan.
Rabia. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Mr.
Gagan.
Raj.
Gagan
Thank
and
you.